Greetings. This is Amy Wentley with Chai Knuckles Knitting, and this is episode 2020-10, casting on for 2x2 ribbing, long tail, and reverse long tail. So I'm currently teaching a Zoom knitting class on the Busta Beanie pattern, and that is by Gundren Johnston, and it is a wonderful stranded knitting hat. And it starts off with a knit 2, purl 2 ribbing. And the designer for this pattern decided to do a special cast on that would set things up for a knit 2, purl 2 ribbing. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that kind of alternating cast on using the long tail cast on and the reverse long tail cast on. And then the next video I'm going to do, that'll be 2020-11, is going to show you how to do it with a long tail cast on and a German twisted cast on. So let me go ahead and show you how this works. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little trick with doing a long tail cast on with 2 balls of yarn. This is a great trick if you have to cast on like a couple hundred stitches for something, and you want to use a long tail cast on, but you don't want to measure out a tail long enough for 200 stitches. What you can do is you can use 2 of the same color yarn, 2 different balls of the same color yarn to do the long tail cast on for all your stitches. I'm doing 2 different colors because I want you to be able to see how the stitches are working. But if you were going to do this long tail cast on using 2 balls of yarn, what you would do is you take the 2 different ends and go ahead and make 1 slip knot with them. Okay. And you'll notice this slip knot has 2 parts, 1 of each color. Okay. I'm going to slip them on my needle, and these are going to be my first 2 stitches. Okay. Okay, so we've got the first 2 stitches here. And what we want to do now is for the long tail cast on, and let's look at some directions here that'll help us. And these are from the Busta Beanie pattern, these instructions on how to do a long tail cast on. Okay, they say make a slip knot and place it onto your right hand needle. And that's what we've done. We've actually got 2 stitches now because we used these 2 balls of yarn. So put the thumb and the index finger of your left hand in between the yards hanging off the needle. So this is the yarn hanging off the needle attached to our balls. Okay, we are going to insert our thumb and index finger into these 2 yarns, into the middle of them, and hold them at the bottom here and spread them apart. They're going to make a V, okay, like this. So what I did is I had my 2 color yarns laying here. I'm going to stick my index finger and thumb down in between the 2 of them, spread them out, and I'm going to rotate my hand so that I have a V here. Okay. In order to do the long tail cast on, then what you do is you take the needle under the thumb, the far end of the thumb. Okay, not the close end, the far end of the thumb. You're going to grab that and you're going to take it over to the closest strand on your index finger. That's this green one. And you're going to come around and scoop under, and you're going to bring it through the loop where your thumb is. You're going to let it off your thumb, pull tight, and that gives you your first stitch. And I still have my fingers, my yarn on my fingers. This is called like a slingshot presentation. That's what they call this. So again, I'm going to go to the furthest on my thumb, closest to on my finger, pull it through and tighten. So one more time. I've got my V, my fingers set up like a V. I'm going to go to the farthest outside of my thumb. I come around the outside, under and up. I'm going to come around the outside of that first strand on my finger, and I'm going to pull it through, and you've got 3. Okay, let me do a few more of these long tail cast-ons for you. Okay, so I've got my V, go to the outside, inside, through the loop, and pull. Outside, inside, through the loop, and pull. Okay, so this is the long tail cast on. And look at the stitches here. Okay, you'll notice the loop that was on my finger is now the stitches, and the loop that was on my thumb was the spine down here. And if you look at the stitches from the front, this is the right side of our work here. These look like knit stitches. If you turn the work over to the other side, these look like purl stitches. Okay, so when you're doing a long tail cast on, you're setting up a row of knit stitches on your needle. And when you're going to turn your work to do your first row, these are purl stitches. Okay, if a designer was working on a stockinette piece at this point, once you turned your work, they would want you to do purl stitches on this first row, because these are purl bumps at the back of your long tail cast on. So some designers will actually have you start a piece on the wrong side because you turned your work, and your first row was your cast on row, and your second row is on the wrong side. It's this purl row. So in this case, why I'm telling you all of this is the designer for this pattern wants you to do a cast on that is a combination of 2 knit stitches and then 2 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches. The way to do that is, in order to get the 2 knit stitches here, to get these 5 knit stitches here, we did a regular long tail cast on. Okay, so in order to get something that looks like a purl stitch from the right side, we're going to do a reverse long tail cast on. Okay, you set it up the same way with the slip knot, with the V. Go ahead and put your fingers down between the 2 yarns, spread them, and bring them up like a slingshot. And this is the reverse. So we're going to do what we did before, but backwards. So let me just refresh you. When we did the long tail cast on, we came to the outside of the thumb, the inside of the finger, and pull it through. Okay, to do the reverse, we're going to go to the outside of the finger, to the inside of the thumb, and pull it through. We're going to go to the outside of the finger, to the inside of the thumb, and pull it through the finger loop. Okay, we're going to go to the outside of the finger, so we go around the back and come up under that finger loop. We're going to come over and around the thumb, and this is the closest one on the thumb, not that outer one, the close one, and we're going to pull it through the loop on the finger, take our finger out, and pull it through. I'll do that a few more times for you. Hold on a minute. I'm having an avalanche. Okay. So again, we're going to put our fingers in to the V, hold them down here. We got a slingshot going here. So to do it on the reverse, we're going to go to the outside of the finger, the inside of the thumb, and through the finger loop. Okay. So if you look at this now on my needle, you can see the difference. Okay. For one thing, the loop that makes the stitch on the needle is now the one that was on my thumb, and the spine is from the finger. Okay, that's why they're the different colors. Okay, because they're reversed. And you'll notice these green stitches here look like knit stitches at the bottom, but the reverse looks like purl stitches. Okay, so the woman who designed this pattern wanted you to alternate knit cast on stitches and 2 knit cast on stitches, and then 2 purl cast on stitches, 2 knit, 2 purl, so that you have the foundation of the knits and purls for the 2x2 rib. It's a subtle thing. If you wanted to cast on for this hat and you wanted to do all long tail cast on, that would be perfectly fine. I don't think anybody would be looking really that closely to your cast on to see that subtlety, but it's a very nice detail. My cat is crying to get in, so let me let him in. Thank you. This is Chai of the Chai Knuckles name. So then in about minute and a half, he'll probably cry to be let out again. So just you have that to look forward to. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do 2 long tail, 2 reverse long tail, 2 long tail, 2 reverse long tail, all the way across. Okay. So we're going to go 2 long tail. So that's 1, 2, 2 reverse long tail, 1, 2, 2 long tail. So I put my finger in and set up the slingshot. The long tail is outside of the thumb, inside of the finger, outside of the thumb, inside of the finger, and reverses outside of the finger, inside of the thumb, outside of the finger, inside of the thumb. And we set it up again. One more time. Long tail is outside, inside, outside of the thumb, inside of the finger, and reverse is outside of the finger, inside of the thumb, outside of the finger, inside of the thumb. So that sets us up. If you look at our needle, we've got our first 2. We're going to drop these off at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knit. We've got 5 purls, and then we've got 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls. And so we're going to want to do a multiple of 4 stitches because 2 knits, 2 purls is a 4-stitch repeat. So we're going to want to do a multiple of 4 all across this needle. I'm going to end this video now. The next video is the same, except it will be a 2x2 ribbing with a long tail cast on and a German twisted cast on. So please join me for that. And then after that video, we'll show you how to join this to work in the round. Okay, thank you for joining. See you soon.